Hi everyone, Rhonda without an H here. Okay, we are working now on our cover. This is the order that I have decided to do my journal in. I have a signature and then I have some journal pages. And I added, my last video, I just had this delicious coffee dyed paper, and I added the old Braille paper that I have used in other journals. It's just so yummy, guys. And then this signature. And then you can see what I did here. And let's open up. Is it that ugly paper? No. Looky, looky, guys. Do you see some delicious tea stains there? Yeah. All right. So, I mean, doesn't that fit so much better? That just fits so much better with the theme and the brown paper bag. And, you know, it just makes it delicious. And then here is my last signature. Alrighty. Oh, that's been laying down. I might tack that with a little bit of glue. I don't want to stitch there, but I might tack that down. We'll see. Anyway, so making the cover. I wanted to do it also out of brown paper bags. And so this took a little bit of thinking. I've not done this before. Sorry, my phone, I've got a message. So what I did, I set my bags, or you know, my signatures on top of each other, and then I measured, okay? And 3 inches comes to here. And I thought, you know, that's probably a good distance for me. You could smoosh them down a little bit if you wanted, and measure that way. And you can, you know, 2 inches I could see also working. Why did I decide on 3? Just to give it room. You know, with the pockets that I have made here in the tops, I'm assuming that these are going to be filled with papers and trinkets and different things. And so this may get fatter. And this may get fatter. And then also that gives room in case in the journaling, depending on whether I keep it or give it away as a gift or sell it or whatever, someone may want to glue some pictures in or whatever to add more and more bulk. So that is why I decided to go with the 3-inch signature. But that, of course, is up to you. We'll set that aside. All right. These are the things that you are going to need to, if you want to do your journal like mine, finish it the way I am going to finish mine. So what I did was got some paper bags. I have a lot of paper bags, by the way. Just saying. Oh my goodness. All right. These are a number 8. And they measure, let's see. Looks like about 11.5 inches by 6 inches. Now, these, you can see these are 2 different paper bags, yet they're basically the same in size, just a little different color, not much. And this, of course, has writing and printing on it, and this does not. I'm not sure where I picked all these up. I go to garage sales, I go to thrift stores. I even sometimes will pick up things in a grocery supply that I get my white lunch sack bags too. So That's the size that I worked with, the 11.5 by 6-ish. Just a smidgen. It doesn't have to be perfect. So what I did, first of all, was I measured 9 inches because remember, our pages are 8.5 by 11 folded in half. So it's 8.5 lengthwise, and widthwise, of course, it's the 5.5 inches. And so a 6-inch wide works perfectly. I want my cover to be a little bit bigger than my pages are. So I fixed on the 9-inch. And so what I did was I measured 9 inches, and then I used my rotary cutter and cut it. If you don't have this kind of a ruler, you can also, just go ahead and measure and just use your scissors. Whatever you have is perfectly fine. So I measured those and cut them. And this is what I came up with. Now, what I'm doing for each cover, for the front cover, I'm using 2 paper bags. But I'm also, I still had some of that Tyvek from those mail envelopes, and I wanted to use it up, and so I have also cut an insert to go in the paper bag to give it strength. Okay, that's what I'm doing. It's also going to be covered with a brown paper bag when the whole thing is stitched and I've got this put together, so that will give it another layer. And then whatever I choose to embellish it with, that will give it more layer and texture with fabric and lace and papers and things. And then there's also the inside. So these 2 paper bags with the Tyvek insert are just the beginning. There's going to be more layering on that. And so I did the back the same way. And I see how you've got your flaps. I butted them kind of together. I guess they're not butted close up together, but so that the nicer part shows. Although in likelihood this will all be covered up, but it just gives, that's just, the OCD or something in me. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the front and the back. And I'm going to stitch these together to give stability. I might glue in a few places just to kind of tack it down so that it doesn't slip while I'm sewing. But I'm going to stitch those together, so I'm going to set those aside and talk a little bit about the spine. All right, now when you cut this bag off, it leaves a strip, okay? And the spine is made from the strip. So I cut it open, and then I took it over to my iron, and I spritzed it with water and ironed it down, like preparing it like I showed you in the first video on preparing the paper. And then what I've done is I have, so I cut it, I folded it in half. Well, let me get this back here. All right, just to show you exactly what I did. All right. School glue that's stronger than me. This cannot be. I am just gluing one side, one half. And I put if you get the design on your paper bags, I didn't want that to show. So then I put that on the inside. So then you just press. And this, I'm just ripping that off because I don't want that either. So then what I would do, I would press it again and then trim it so that it measures the 9 inches by 3 inches that my spine is going to be. And I did a couple of those. Let me show you. Okay, now you're probably wondering, what the heck is she doing? What has she got there? Well, this is what I've got here. All right. So I did 2, and then I also did a Tyvek piece. And then I also, this is a Michaels flyer that I received in the mail, and I do go there and use coupons occasionally, but I'm just not interested currently. And it was a nice sturdy, you know how that postcard anyway, it's just sturdier than some of the copy paper that we buy even. So I also cut one of those to the 3 inches by 9 inches. And then I layered and put my other one on. And this by itself will be pretty good. But just to make sure my spine is wonderful, then I also measured the 3 inches wide and did the whole long strip without gluing it down. And look what I'm going to do. See, I'm going to butt that up and have that measure just right, the 9 inch by 3 inch wide. And I'm going to secure it, each layer, with a little bit of glue, and then I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch this to give it sturdiness. Okay, so now we've got the front cover, we've got the spine, and we've got the back cover. When I've secured these together, then I am going to, remember this, by opening the paper bag, and this gives me plenty of room. Oops. All right. All right. So I can then put these 3 pieces together, and that will be done using Tyvek. Again, this is 2 inches wide, so I have 1 inch on each side and the 9 inches long. And when this is stitched, I'm going to do this. I'm going to come in, I will glue it to secure it, and then I'm going to stitch. Not exactly butted up, just a smidgen, just the teensiest little bit, and stitch it down to secure it. Then I will add this piece, and again, just a smidgen from the fold line, just so that I have approximately, like maybe a 1/16 inch that hasn't, so it's not butted completely up together, but it just has just the teensiest little bit, 1/16 of an inch. Let me get that so you can kind of see that. And you'll see when I do this, I'm going to stitch this all, and then I'm going to come back and show you that process as well. And that makes it so it can fold, so it's not crammed in to each other. And so I'll do that, and then I will also do that again on this side. Okay, So I am going to get to that point, and we will probably, you know what, that'll be our second video. We're going to call it good for this video because I don't want these to be over long. So get your bags, get them cut, get them pressed, get them ready to go, do your stitching, and then we'll move on to the next step. So we'll see you in the next video. Bye now.